Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be in conversation with Ganesh Kumar from Trane Technologies today as part of Funco's leadership series to demystify entrepreneuring and entrepreneurship as a business imperative for organizations to invest and build its capabilities and sustain in these dynamic times. We are ending another historic year as part of the COVID era, defining our generation, battling to experiment, pivot, and build solutions for the future. Ganesh, a very warm welcome to this conversation. Ganesh, in his own words, identifies himself as an entrepreneur, and we will delve into understanding this adventurous journey in his professional career. Ganesh has 10 years and overall experience of 20 years with Trane Technologies. He has worked as engineering leader, heading the manufacturing, automation, and digitization group. He has expertise in engineering and technology management, business development, international stakeholders management, capability development, project management. So a lot of skills, that sort of align with entrepreneurship. So my first question to you, Ganesh, really is that what inspired you to be an entrepreneur?
First of all, good afternoon, and thanks, Puja, for the warm welcome. So when it comes to entrepreneurship and the inspiration for me, I always had a passion to explore new business opportunities and new ventures. As you know, entrepreneurship is nothing but running a small company in a corporation. So this concept has excited me very much, and it gives an opportunity to run like a business. So this is one of my passion area, which is aligned to entrepreneurship concepts. And I also came across an interesting story about 5 to 6 years back. There was a large corporation hired a maintenance manager to look after their shop floor machines. And all of these machines and equipments were imported. And this person was hired to take care of all these machines so that they can make their products. So this person joined and was working with small team. And over the period of time, he understands the machine and equipments. And with the small team, he started building the same machines here in local. So this is a big booster for the company. Instead of buying these equipments from different parts of the world and cost and service support, to avoid all of these, the company has promoted that person, to make more and more of such machines so that they can buy it, build it locally, and use it locally. So this has been a very inspirational story. This person started building these machines in some small scale, then started building these equipments and complex machines in big scale, and started supporting and supplying these machines to his own company within the organization. So over the period of time, this team has become big and developing even complex machines and systems and technologies. And the company started these machines, selling these machines outside of their company, and become a profit center by selling these machines. So after 10 years, the size of the group and the technology that they had, the company has decided to make this entire group as a separate, independent, standalone company. And now they are running as a successful independent company. See, a small a group led by one person eventually become an independent organization. So that's the entrepreneurship journey that's that can take you for. So that's another inspiration thing hit me hardly about 6-7 years back. The other important inspiration for me is the support and encouragement that I receive from my company, as always. And another important motivation factor and inspiration factor for me to run behind entrepreneurship. So I think these are all the major factors for me to run behind entrepreneurship and inspiration factor for me.
Entrepreneurship is, of course, a very adventurous journey. And, it's really not a defined role, but it's an approach, it's a way of working. So what are some of your lessons that you've learned as a practitioner, as an entrepreneur, and extending yourself beyond to just looking at your work as a job? What are some of the lessons that you have learned? If you could share that as well.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, you used the right word, adventure journey. It is adventurous journey. The entire journey for me was fantastic, but it was not easy. I had to go through a lot of struggle in the initial couple of years until I get stabilized. It's like exactly how you're running a company in outside world, the same way. I had to visit many internal customer locations. I had to meet a lot of internal customers, understand their unmet needs, their pain points, their requirements, their future plans. So I had to basically collect the entire portfolio of their operations and so on. Then come back and sit, prioritize all those unmet needs and requirements, finalize the one or couple which has a business advantage and the value proposition to the organization, pick them up, create a kind of a POC, with the available team, then go out and showcase it to our customers, gain their confidence. Once they feel like, yeah, it's a good idea, then develop a business case around it, get the financial approval for that. Once financial approval has been provided, then you have to build a team, develop a complete system, then make sure it works properly, then go ahead and successfully launch it. So this is an entire journey. You pretty much cover the entire piece of an enterprise. So that's pretty much journey for me. When it comes to lessons learned, and of course, a lot of interesting lessons that as a team we have learned. Some of the crucial, lessons that I would call it as building a strong team itself is the biggest lesson, because you're not going to create a team only for entrepreneurship. You're going to take some of your existing team efforts as a stretch effort to promote these entrepreneurship behaviors, because you're not going to get the business in day one. It's a journey. You'll have to work hard, try hard for a few years. Then you go out and make a product or a service, then give it to your customers, then, get a business from there. So the team with the right attitude is very important. So inculcating that attitude was biggest challenge. Eventually we made it. Initially we had few challenges, but it's fortunate that we got a great team to go out and promote such initiatives. Then you, like how the outside world, similarly in a corporate or an enterprise, you always have some of the issues like, it's not easy to take a decision. Of course, you'll have to reach out to different pockets of ladder to get an approval. So you should have an eye influencing skill. So that's another important lessons that we have learned. Influencing and persuasion skills are very important, to drive entrepreneurship journey within an industry or within a company. And the proactiveness is another important factor, because you have to always keep up with your, technologies. You have to be future ready, because you need to think 2 to 3 years down the line, what technology is going to come up, and do we have enough competencies in our current team to meet all those technology expectations. So always you will be in the future ready mode. And strategy for long term. See, as I said, we are going to take these entrepreneurship activities with the existing team. And once you get a project, or once you're going to make a strategy to get into any of the product or a service, you'll have to think for a long term. It's not like, take a project, do it for 1 year, then finish it off. No, it's going to be a continual process. The way you put up your strategy, when I said about finalizing projects, understand your unmet needs. So you'll have to define a strategy in such a way that it has to be a continuous process, so that you give value proposition and business advantage on a long term, not on a short term. So that's another important lesson that we have learned. Then handling, of course, some of the internal conflicts, when you're operating these kind of initiatives internally, of course, there'll be, different thoughts, different opinions. So you'll have to kind of manage these internal, conflicts also to some extent. That's another biggest lesson that we have learned. And you have to be aggressive sometimes. And at the same time, your team needs to be engaged. The entire team should be aggressive and engaged. It's little contradictory, but that's the catch here. We'll have to go with aggressiveness, because time to market is very important. At the same time, the team should be more engaged. So these are all some of the important lessons I think, we have learned over the period of this period of time through entrepreneurship journey, I would say, Puja.
So a lot of key perspectives, a lot of key capabilities that you brought out. One is really the foresight. And I think even in our studies, what has come up is that an entrepreneur needs to have a foresight. And you mentioned the fact that being future ready, being able to see the future. and to be proactive and to be persuasive, to influence, to have a strategic mindset. And it's not just important to have ideas, but also to be able to take ideas to action. So a lot of capabilities, Ganesh, that you brought in, and that sort of, from the individual, which is the entrepreneur, you also mentioned that what you also got was an ecosystem within which your ideas could flourish, your initiative could flourish. So if I ask you that, within Trane Technologies, what is the kind of culture or climate of innovation that is being nurtured, and what are some of the enablers that have helped you and maybe other entrepreneurs like you to succeed and flourish? Because just self-motivation and a drive, can get one up to a certain point, but after that you also need that ecosystem within around you.
Yeah, I mean, you're perfectly right. So a self-motivation probably can take you to the entrance, and if you have to open the door, you should have a good ecosystem. And I would say Trane has been great promoter of entrepreneurship. Trane has been promoting entrepreneurship culture and the behavior since 2014. And we have conducted a significant event in 2015 focusing only on entrepreneurship. So Trane has been always promoting entrepreneurship, innovation, disclosures, new ideas. So in fact, I'm fortunate to be part of Trane so that I can push my ideas a little faster. Some of the key initiatives that's been driven in Trane, I would like to share that with you and the team. It's going to be very useful. As I said, the conclaves, we have conducted a big conclave in 2015 to promote entrepreneurship culture and mindset, where different teams comes together and participate in that event, and they'll come and present their innovative ideas, entrepreneurship journeys, and so that the other participants can learn and impact some of the crucial parameters. It's a big event conducted for 2 days. We go outside of Bangalore, stay there for 2 days, and exchange all these great learnings and informations and tech talks and so on. And some of the other key initiatives are like, we do conduct ideation sessions within our company, so that a group of people get together and talk about a product or a service and process, comes up with innovative ideas. And also we drive something called an innovation challenge. We throw in problem statement which is related to product, service, or a process, and we expect people to come up with an innovative idea. And we do conduct such sessions very frequently, and there is a committee to evaluate these ideas. And surprisingly, we had seen so many ideas, very breakthrough ideas have come from many people on certain aspects. So that's another event that we conduct regularly. And another important factor factor that we do is a tech fest. Last 2 years we didn't do it because of COVID and other reasons, but previous years and last 5 to 6 years we have been successfully conducting tech fest events. So it's like an exhibition that you see outside. The same way we put up huge stalls. Where we requested our teams and individuals to come and participate in these tech funds. In those stalls, our engineers and teams will come and present their innovation ideas, POCs, concepts, technologies, and we invite all our stakeholders and our customers globally. I mean, internal customers. People used to come from North America, from Europe, and from China and other parts of the world. They do travel to Bangalore and they stay here and they participate in all these events and visit all the stalls, understand. So through this event, we have got so many breakthrough opportunities to support our organization. So this is like, driving a complete like an exhibition within the company. So that's another important event that we drive. And we also have a committee for POC, proof of concepts. Somebody has got a good idea, we wanted to encourage them. So we have allocated some funding for driving this POC. So we give them an initial seed money so that they can go out and develop something and come back. If it's really breakthrough and if it's really going to give value addition, that we are going to take it up to the next level. So that's another initiative. Then of course we also conduct something called new ventures. Somebody really see a potential opportunity which he wants to go out and take it up to next level. We put a seed money into it, and I myself is one of the witness for such initiative, because I went and talked to my leadership team and given the idea, and they've given me a seed money, and now that has given like 10-fold, 15-fold now, because that individual idea, it's become a big success now. So like that, a lot of initiatives are being driven within the organization, which could be very useful for other companies to follow and other teams to follow. So I'm proud and glad to say these initiatives are being very helpful towards entrepreneurship.
That's fantastic. I mean, and that is why we are very privileged to have Trane as our ecosystem partner, as we are also building this out for the industry. And thank you so much, to you and the Trane team to have come in. You've really spoken about a very holistic way of creating that pervasive culture, because culture cannot be developed in one day. And the fact that you've been sustaining it from 2014 and building on it, and honing the capabilities, as well as inspiring people to stretch beyond, it's really wonderful. And my last question to you, Ganesh, is that, because you are an entrepreneur, and entrepreneur really is, there are, and we can always debate whether they are born or they can be nurtured. But what is the career advice that you'd like to give? If it's that one advice that you'd like to give to others who would like to, build entrepreneurial careers, what would you, give as that one piece of advice to them? What should they do, or what should they watch out for?
Okay. Yeah.
What is it that you learn? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first of all, trust me, entrepreneurship journey itself is an excited one. It has given tremendous amount of self-satisfaction when you achieve something. That itself is a great thing. Beyond that, it has got significant, impact on both personal front, and I also bring up one more element called social front. So I'll first touch upon the personal front. On the personal front, you will have an opportunity to learn different skills in enterprise-wide at high level. You don't get this opportunity very often, but when you get into this entrepreneurship journey, you will obviously have to learn something about finance, something about business, operating models, and strategy, supply chain operations. So because when you have to push your idea to next level, of course you'll have to work with most of these teams, so you will get an high level idea about how an enterprise operates at high level. That's the biggest learning that you can get. And at the same time, when you have an opportunity to learn all of these different skills, obviously it's going to help your career. So it's of course a career growth from the personal point of view. Then you will have the sense of satisfaction, because you feel like you're running an organization, but of course with the support of large corporate. So that's a great feeling to have. This from the personal point of view. I mean, your initiative or entrepreneurship journey is going to help the social front. You're going to create employment, by creating some new ideas, by bringing new opportunities. You're going to create a new employment opportunities. That's great. So I think these two things are great feelings when you're getting through an entrepreneurship journey. So if you are, I don't think it is inborn. To some extent it's born, but most of it can be inculcated. So I think that's my answer to that question, Puja.
Thank you. And, I always say that what is inborn is passion. And what came out from your answer was a lot of passion, because entrepreneurship has to come out of a certain passion. And I think that's the only thing that you require within yourself, and the rest can be all learned. So thank you so much, Ganesh, for being in conversation with us today and partnering with us in this journey as we take the next leap, as part of this roadmap for the industry. Thank you.
Thanks, Puja. Thanks for this opportunity, and we are glad to be part of Unfold community for driving entrepreneurship. So on behalf of Trane, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.